Today, we're starting a new monthly series of videos where we look at every single game releasing this month and trying to guess what their Metacritic score will be. If you've never heard of Metacritic, it's a website that takes every major review score and puts it all together to give us a general consensus of how good or bad a game is. Now, I'll have a list in the description of every single game I talk about, so you guys can go ahead and copy that list, put it in the comments, and play along and guess the score for yourself. If you're new here, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like this kind of content, and subscribe because we're going to be doing this series every single month on top of all the reviews and first impressions and other videos about every game that releases that month. As a reminder, this is just for fun, and I always hope that every single game release is really good, but that's unfortunately not always the case. So let's look at every single game releasing in the month of February. The first game on our list is Persona 3 Reload, a remake of Persona 3 releasing this week on February 2nd. Look, the Persona games are some of the most beloved JRPGs, and Persona 4 and 5 have extremely high scores of over 90. Persona 3 is the only one that's at an 89 right now, so I think that a remake with the engine of Persona 5, having Persona 3, from what I know, being one of the most beloved stories in the series. I played Persona 4 and 5 and I absolutely adored it. This is the one I never got the chance to play. I cannot see this one having a bad score. Also, it's coming directly to Game Pass, which I think is going to just give even more people the chance to play it, but I really can't see this having any bad reviews, and if anything, I think this is going to top the original copy. So the original had an 89, Persona 4 and 5 are 80, 93, 95. So I'm going to take a safe bet here for the first one. I'm going to say Persona 3 Reload gets a 90, which I think is an extremely high score, but I really think that it has a chance of it. Next on our list is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and this is a difficult one. If you guys have been following this game, it's a 4-player co-op game based in the Arkham universe by Rocksteady, and man, there has been a lot of back and forth on whether this game is going to be good or bad. I think that a lot of people have already said what they thought about it without even playing it. People really wanted to have just a new Batman game or a Justice League game, and instead Rocksteady went with a live service 4-player co-op playing as a Suicide Squad, which is not what anyone wanted, including myself. I'm not like super excited about playing as a Suicide Squad and compared to all the other options we could have had. But does that mean the game is going to be bad? I'm really hoping that's not the case. I hope that this game releases and shocks everyone and is really, really a lot better than everyone expected. But like I said, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that most reviewers have already decided that they are just not happy with this. Most of the previews have been fairly negative, but I don't want to go too negative. I don't want to go into the red side. So my guess is that this game is going to be kind of just average, just mid, and so around the 70s. Just for fun, to keep it spicy, I'm going a 71. That's my guess. I know it's not the best score. I really hope it's better, but I can't see anyone being that shocked as once they play it. I really think that most people have decided this is not what they wanted. So we'll have to wait and see this Friday, February 2nd. The next game on our list is Foamstars, coming out directly actually on PlayStation Plus Extra as well. So if you guys have a PS Plus subscription, you'll be able to play this game day one for free. Releasing on February 6th, it is a brand new 4v4 online shooter game. Very, very similar to the Splatoon games where you get to shoot with your guns, a bunch of foam to build terrain and all that. But the idea is that you have to take control as much as you can of the map with your team's color of foam. This is straight up a Splatoon copy from what I can tell, but most of the previews have been very positive about this. A lot of people are saying that it's a lot better than they expected it to be and actually really fun. I'm quite excited to give this game a shot, so I hope it's way better than everyone has been saying. But like I said, it is still just an online shooter of just 4v4. There are a couple game modes, a couple characters, but I think that at release, it may not have enough content to be a huge success, but I still think that the general consensus will probably still be in the positive. So thinking that it's, going to be positive, but not super high, I'm going to go with a 78, which is still good, but I don't think it can go that much higher considering it's just a 4v4. No single player mode from what I know, if I'm wrong, make sure to comment, but don't think there's a single player mode. It is just an online shooter. So that's my score, 78. Next up on our list is Helldivers 2, coming out on PS5 and PC on February 8th, and this is one of my most anticipated games of the month. I adored the first Helldivers. It was one of my favorite top-down shooters. It was so funny to play and so enjoyable and chaotic with friends. And from everything I've seen from the trailers, this game looks to just take everything I love from the first game, but make it a third person instead of a top-down shooter, which is going to be amazing. I have a slight fear that this game is not going to get the most positive reviews because maybe the generation has changed. If you guys don't know, Helldivers is a 4-player co-op game, but you can hurt your friends. Friendly fire is always on, and most of the time, the things that kill you in this game are your friends, not the enemy. I find it to be extremely enjoyable and hilarious because you really got to be tactical and strategic, but you always end up in these chaotic battles that you're in panic mode and you end up hurting your friends. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I really hope the reviewers agree with me, but I can see a lot of people maybe taking a couple points away from it because of the friendly fire, not being able to remove it, unless you do get the option to remove it. But I think that that's what makes Helldivers special. This game is going to be so fun. There seems to be so much content in this game. I cannot wait. I'm going to guess that it's going to have a fairly good score, but again, getting into those 90s is really difficult. So I'm going to stick and play it safe. I'm going with an 84. That's my guess. The next game on our list is Banishers Ghosts of New Eden. And honestly, I don't know why there's nothing about this game. I did as much research as I can to try and see any game previews or anything, but there's not much going on. This game is made by Don't Nod, a company that I actually really like, the development team that I really like. They've made a couple of the Life is Strange games and a couple other stuff. This is an action RPG game where you play as a main character who banishes ghosts, but he is, I think, if I understand correctly, with someone who is dead and they are a ghost. So there's probably going to be this whole love story about having to banish his wife in the future or something like that. I wish I got more information, but like I said, there isn't much to go on with this game. There's not been a lot of hype around it. It is coming out in 2 weeks, and like I said, no previews, not many trailers, so I really wish it's good. I'm a big fan of Don't Nod, but just from the fact that they haven't been hyping this game up, none of the big teams like Xbox or PlayStation have shown off a lot of interest in wanting to showcase this game in their trailers. It's never a good sign when that happens. But like I said, I only wish for the best, so I'm going to stick with a 75. Just right there into the green. If you guys don't know, in the Metacritic, 75 and up is green, 74 and down is yellow. So I'm going to stay positive on this one and hope for the best. The next game on our list is called Ultros, which is a brand new, very weird, very colorful Metroidvania game. If you guys have seen any of my videos so far, you guys know that I adore Metroidvania games, so I'm very curious about this game. I haven't heard much of it up until like a week ago when the trailer started showing up in my feed, and this just looks like a very weird but super colorful. I don't know yet if I like it or don't like the mix here, but it does seem like it's going to be a really good one. Metroidvanias are some of the most difficult games to pull off because you got to make sure that you have a good way of connecting the whole world together. Prince of Persia being a recent one that did a really good job with it, but I do hope for the best as always. I think this one could potentially be a good one. From everything I've seen, the animations just a little not like what I like, but the colors and the gameplay could be good. As long as they make a really fun map to run around and discover things, this could be a good score. I'm going to take a guess and say 82 on this one. And again, just hope for the best. Next up on our list is a new Nintendo Switch game, Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I've never been like a big fan of these kind of games, but I've played a couple of them on like Nintendo DS or Game Boy. I can't remember which one. These games can be fun, fine, but I don't think they're going to blow anyone's mind. Little rhyme there that I did do on purpose, but I really, as always, I really hope it's good, but I just can't see this being a top tier game. Everything I've seen from this trailer doesn't scream top tier Nintendo. It seems very mid to me, and even Nintendo haven't gone out of the way to do a lot of Nintendo Directs, presentations, or showcase for them. I think this is just another release for them, trying to complete having one of every game of their series on the Switch. We have basically one of each, but we don't have a Mario vs. Donkey Kong yet. I can't see this one being a huge success, so I'm going to guess a 70 on this one. The next game on our list is Skull and Bones, and oh boy, I don't think this one's going to be good, guys. I'm so sorry. This is also releasing on February 16th by Ubisoft on pretty much every platform. This game has been in development for such a long time. They kept delaying and delaying and delaying, and I just don't see this game coming out and being a huge success. If you guys don't know, you get to play as a pirate on a boat. If you play the Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, they basically took the boat mechanic from that game, yes, that long ago, and tried to build a game from the ground up on just the boat battles. from what I know, you don't actually get to walk around and play much. It is all boat combat or boat gameplay the whole way through. I really don't think this is going to be a success. I really hope I'm wrong, and I think that it comes out and blows everyone's mind. But right now, I don't have high hopes on this one. This is probably the lowest score I'm going to give this month to any game. I'm going with a 65. I just can't see this being that great. All right, the next game on our list is Pacific Drive, which is one of the most unique games we've seen so far on the list. It is a first-person driving game where your best friend is your car. You're going to go around from like into your garage, pick up stuff, and always upgrade your car so that you can go adventure. And there's a mystery to solve. It seems like there's like a supernatural post-apocalypse thing happening. There hasn't been a lot about this game either, but they did show it in a state of play. It looks like PlayStation are the ones that are teaming up. It's coming out to PS5 and PC. And as you guys can see from the trailer here, you're trying to always upgrade your car so that it looks like not a roguelike, but kind of similar where you're trying to get more stuff for your car so you can go a bit further throughout the map. There is a mystery to solve. It looks like it's very story focused as well. Very unique. Could be a huge hit or a huge miss. I'm going to kind of just play it safe and go right in the middle there. I'm going to say a 78. I expect a lot of 7s and 8s, probably maybe a couple 9s, hopefully if we're lucky, and it'll end up around that score. Next on our list is a remake of one of the most beloved co-op games ever, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. I've actually never played the original, so I'm super hyped to play this remake. You guys have probably seen It Takes Two as a recent one from the same developer team. These guys know what they're doing when it comes to co-op games. The original had a score of 86. It Takes Two had an 88. I can see the remake from the ground up with a bunch of upgrades, just getting a better score than the original. So I'm going with an 88 as well. I think it's going to get just as good of a score as It Takes Two. Cannot wait. This is one that I am so excited to finally get to play because so many people told me it is a great game. The final game on our list is my most anticipated game of the year, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the sequel to the remake that came out a couple years ago. And man, I cannot wait. If this game is exactly what we want, which is the original or the remake, I guess, just in an open world with better combat, better graphics, a better story, which I think story-wise we shouldn't be worried because we already know where this game is going. And this section, I actually love these parts that they're talking about in the trailers that they're going to be doing from the original game. So I really hope that's the case. Whether they change things or make it the same, all of it is so many questions in the air that I cannot wait to get the answers for. The combat of the original was really great, and from what I saw from the previews, it looks like they upped the ante for the combat. I cannot see this game getting a bad review. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going with a 94 on this one. I think this one has a big chance of being one of the most highly positively reviewed game of the year. I think it's going to be a game of the year contender, maybe even game of the year for a lot of people. God, I hope I'm right. I really hope that this gets a good score. So we'll have to wait and see at the end of this month if I'm right or wrong. And that, everyone, is the list of every game releasing this month. I probably missed a couple. If I did, make sure to comment down below so I can look them up. But I try to go through all the games that I've heard of before, just so I had something to say in the video. If you guys like this and you're all the way to the end here, comment your guesses with the description, all that. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.